Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Bite Size Rallying. And the focus of tonight's episode is this car, the Mitsubishi Galant VR4 Group A rally car. Now this is the era of Group A rallying. Picture the scene, it's November 1988, and for the last 2 seasons Lancia have been dominating this production-based formula with the Lancia Delta. And along comes Mitsubishi with this car, the Galant VR4. It looked like the most bizarre rally car. To be honest, it looked more like a taxi that used to pick us up from a nightclub on a Saturday night. It didn't look like a rally car that was going to win a World Championship rally. It's got a long boot, long bonnet. It just didn't look like a rally car. And when I saw the car in the stages on the 1988 RAC rally, the car looked ungainly. Aaron Vatanen was behind the wheel. Now, he was renowned for being a sideways driver. Everywhere was on the handbrake. This thing is massive, and it actually had 4-wheel steering, which I'm not a technical person, but the 4-wheel steering I don't think particularly lent itself to handbrake turns, because Vatanen just looked like he was struggling driving this car. Fast forward 1989, the Mitsubishi was always there at the start line, and in June we'll come to the Acropolis Rally, one of the toughest events on the World Championship calendar, the gravel Acropolis Rally. And Jimmy McRae, Colin's dad, was driving the car, a guest appearance towards the twilight years of his career really. And Jimmy actually finished 4th on this event behind a gaggle of Lancia Deltas. And after the rally, Jim actually commented, I think it was in Rally Sport magazine, how stable the car was, how well it rode the bumps, and how capable it was. So it was a good result, an encouraging result for the Rally Art team that used to prepare the cars in Rugby, in Warwickshire, in Britain. So he did well. 2 months later, it's August. It's the Acropolis Rally. 2 months later, it's August, and it's the Thousand Lakes Rally in Finland, the fastest rally on the World Championship calendar. And Swede Michael Eriksson was driving this car number 9, E647 JNO. Lined up at the start line as a refugee from Lancia. I don't think really anybody fancied his chances particularly. The Galant VR4 wasn't a winner. Eriksson was a bit driver really, he was okay, but not really done the business. And there we go. So 3 days later, Eriksson actually won the rally. He won the event in the Mitsubishi Galant VR4. 10 months after its debut in Harrogate of the RAC rally, this car had won an event. The taxi had come good. So it's quite a fillip for Mitsubishi, and it's quite an achievement. And the story just got better. November, it's the RAC rally, and Pentti Ricola is driving the Galant this time. He'd been campaigning it all season as a Group N showroom car in the British Championship with quite a lot of success. Actually won the RAC rally, and beat Carlos Sainz in the Toyota, and achieved another victory for the Galant VR4. And Pentti proved something that none of us are really asked. Could the Galant go sideways? I don't think anybody even considered this car going sideways, but Pentti got this car sideways. He probably got it as sideways as he got the Opel Mantas 2 years previous. And there was a memorable inboard shot on the circuit of Isla Rally with this car, full opposite lock tank slapper. You can probably see it on VHS rallies, and it was a sight to behold. And so the Mitsubishi Galant VR4 continued to be there at World Championship events. I think he picked up only one more victory, the Swedish Rally in 1991, driven by Kenneth Eriksson. But the car acquitted itself well, and I think us rally fans have become quite attached to this car. We'll look forward to seeing it, and it was like the underdog that actually come good. So I think the key question really is, without this car and the success that this car had, would there have been a Lancia evolution within the World Championship? Would Tommy Mäkinen have achieved his 4 world titles on the bounce in the mid-90s if this car hadn't have achieved those 3 victories? I'm not quite sure. Obviously we had the success of Mäkinen and the success of Richard Burns, but this is probably a footnote in Mitsubishi's rallying history. They didn't achieve anything like the success of the Lancia or Evo, let's face it. But probably a footnote and a quarter really, because this car, without this car, would there have been a Lancia? That's the question. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe as is the usual ask on these type of things. But please join me in the future on Bite Size Rallying for another brief chat about another successful, or maybe not successful, rally car. I'll have to wait and see. Thank you. Goodbye.